didn't know Rick was coming. Go ahead.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm gonna call February 18th City of Cumming Planning and Zoning meeting to order. Item number 2, do I have a motion to adopt agenda?
Make a move we adopt.
Motion, I'll make a second. That vote carries unanimous. Do I have a motion to approve January 21st, 2025 meeting?
I move we approve.
Second, everybody vote, carries. No old business, new business. 5A, Hoff Homes LLC annexation number 2025002. Do I have a motion to open public hearing?
Make a move we open hearing.
Second, everybody vote. Public hearing now open. You gonna come up and tell us what we got going on? Let me get my right thing out here.
Well, thank you for having us. My name's Todd Vanderhoff. This is my father, Ken Vanderhoff. It's actually 2 parcels. There's Hoff Homes and then Hutchison Place Apartments, which off of Castleberry and Hutchison Road. So the property is 4.53 acres, which that's the Hutchison Apartments resides there. Then the corner lot of Castleberry and Hutchison is about a half acre, 0.44. And it's got a little bit of a gas easement there. We bought the property back in 2013, and we've always talked about wanting to annex into the city. Just I grew up in the city limits. My dad was practicing attorney in the city limits, and those are some of the reasons. But we've got city sewer. We're served by city water there. Just around the corner, we've got municipalities. We've got the city police. So when we bought this, there was an extra little piece of land that never got developed. So it's 5 quadruplexes, basically. You drive in, we got 3 to the left. To the right is some spare land, and then that adjoins more spare land that is on Hutchison Road, and then which adjoins the Hoff Homes parcel on the corner. I don't know if you have a map of it. So there was always room, to add additional units per whatever the UD, I think it's 6 units per acre, or R3. So when we started looking at this, again, we talked about it for several years and just there was a property that came in behind us that was going to be a kind of a raised venue type deal, and that's when they approached us and wanted us to kind of look at our project and say, would you be willing to grant kind of like an easement to go to your property to get to this? And we're like, well, and then we met with them. We're like, we don't know the future. We know we want to add additional units. Our units rent from anywhere from $1,200 to $1,400 a month. They're built in the 80s, vinyl siding. We're in the process of upgrading them, replumbing them, doing quite a bit of work. But when we met with the county, they were saying, well, you can, this is mixed use now, and this is, I guess you maybe call it non-conforming, but you need to you can't build to rent. You can build here, but you're going to need to sell, and it's going to have a separate entrance. They're going to have to be considered townhomes. And we're thinking, well, we've got these older apartments. We would just like to build out what's left, and we would like to keep them kind of in our little niche there in our little portfolio, and just add, I think it would be up to 6 units. Possibly there might be a little bit more if you combine the corner. And we met with the commissioners, and they said, no, you can't rent those. If you build them, you've got to sell them. I said, okay, well, that's news to us. So we met with them. This all, again, started with the property behind us, but, we've, ever since we got it under contract back in 2013, is how cool would it be to be in the city? Because we've got long roots there. Right across the street is the city parcel, and then we connect on 2 sides. We connect in between the road. We connect a piece directly across from the apartments, and then on the other side of Castleberry Road.
How many units do you have now?
We have 20.
20, and you want to add about 6, you say?
Yes.
Okay.
It could be up to, it depends if you combine that small portion. That portion on the corner does have an Atlanta gas easement through it, but it's about half of it. But if you combine those 2 together, it might get you slightly over 6, but we're, whatever the code would allow is what we would put there. There's a lot of green space if you drive through it. They're set up on septic now. Obviously, if you add anything, it'd be on sewer. The gentleman, there's sewer tap behind us. There's also across the street. So there's a couple different ways to be able to bring sewer to the property.
Okay. Got any other questions, Ricky?
No.
Still waiting on the county, right? We don't really have anything.
Yeah, and I'll tell that in staff report, but yes, the county has received it. We've received that 5-day letter, but we've not received their letter of whether or not they'll object to it, which I think is somewhere going to be around March 6th, I think is their deadline to get that, for them to give us in writing whether or not they're going to object to the annexation.
All right. We may have some more questions in just a second. but
Okay.
Let's see. Does anybody else here want to speak on this one? Okay,
You know what's around us, don't you? Across the street, Emery Lipscomb owns that tract.
right.
And then on the other side, that would be on Hutchinson Road, and on Castleberry Road, there's a subdivision that ties in there. That's in the city.
And it backs up to a commercial piece where they're going to be building a little venue type deal.
I don't know if you're gonna do that.
No.
All right. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I move it close.
Motion closed, second. Vote, public hearing closed. We got a staff report.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, kid. You,
Property owners submitted an annexation petition to the proper authorities to annex 2 parcels totaling 4.97 acres more or less and rezone from county multifamily residential R3 and agricultural A1 to city multifamily residential R3. The parcels are property identification numbers 128-071 and 128-068, more commonly known as 3300 Hutchinson Road and 3215 Castleberry Road respectively. The parcels have contiguity to the existing city boundaries, eligible to be annexed. Existing city zoning across Hutchinson Road is R3. Future land use designation is high-density residential. Therefore, this annexation rezoning request is in conformance with the city's comprehensive plan. As I mentioned, Forsyth County stated they've received the annexation request. However, they have not stated whether or not they'll object to this proposed annexation. But for the above-mentioned reasons, staff recommends approval of the requested annexation rezoning to R3. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
thank you. All right, I don't know that we can make any kind of recommendation without the county. I don't necessarily see any problem. We'll probably have a few stipulations. We'd need to see a little bit more of a site plan, and probably you'll have to go before our review committee, which is not that thing, because you've already got an existing. We would go to match and stuff like that. But I'm gonna make a motion that we postpone this till next month, waiting on the county and some other stuff. And we just want to go ahead and have a public hearing today to make sure, anybody around it.
Were they supposed to have their comments in on it by now?
No,
We'll
for
refer
the
to that
annexation
attorney.
law, they have a certain time period, I believe it's up to 45 days.
Okay.
Official notification. Within 5 days, they have to notify us that they have received it, which they have. And they've given us that letter, but then they have this additional time to state whether or not they'll actually officially object to the annexation. So I would expect by the March 18th.
Our March 18th meeting, we should have
we
enough
should have the
information where we know
notification to
whether
the county whether or not they're going to.
we're in.
We kind of think they will be objecting, but.
Okay. So I'm gonna make a motion, we postpone annexation number 2025002 to the March meeting. And when we get the letter from the county, Scott will be communicating
Okay.
with you, and then probably some more information we're gonna need and stuff. But, well,
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
let's get the county, let's see what they do first. There's no use us getting in the middle of it yet. I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Motion and second, carries unanimous. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, B, Howard Hobby variance number 2025003, to have a motion to open public hearing. Do I have a motion to open public hearing on
I make a move we open.
second? Everybody vote. Public hearing's open. Howard, you want to come up and tell us about this?
Yeah, we're applying for a variance, several variances to the property. One is the buffer variance of 30 feet to allow a buffer of 20 foot abutting a residential district, and taper the buffer as shown on the sketch plan down to a 5-foot area. Reduce the setback abutting a residential district from 60 to 20, and variance to remove the screening requirement, and variance to allow 2-story buildings. This is a tract of property that used to be part of the city of Cumming, next to the city dump. We were getting the portion that was not, didn't have any stuff put on it, to basically build a mini storage.
Okay. I'm reading, I'm sorry, Howard.
Okay, sorry.
On your side, this piece here, y'all on it also, the one to the right?
Pardon me?
If I'm looking at y'all on the one, I guess that'd be west, east of that.
Oh,
This is a track y'all also on, right?
this tract right here.
Okay, what about this?
This is the Advantage Boat Center.
Okay,
That's where they got the boats parked out.
okay, all right, thank you. All right, is this going, but the mini storage you're talking about doing, is it enclosed?
Yes.
Okay.
How many units you have in there?
Phase one, I think it's 104 units. If we build it out, if we max it out as much as we can, it'd probably be in the neighborhood of 5, maybe even as much as 600 units. Depends on the size of the units, of course.
Yeah.
How does our ordinance read on that, Scott?
As far as number of
Units per-
units?
Yeah, what's our code on that?
Well, we don't have we don't list a maximum per units. I mean, they listed as, and one of the variances they're applying for is try to get two-story, because we only allow typically one-story on the mini warehouses.
Okay.
But we don't have anything as far as,
No matter how many, sizes would matter how numbers, so you don't have
That's
enough.
what I'm saying, we don't have, there's not a rule that we go by, okay.
no, the number of units are, of course, be based on, what setbacks they have, the developable area, and what size units they're proposing.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
we don't have anything specific on that.
All right, Howard, we may have a copy.
Okay.
Questions, anyone else want to speak? Okay, do I have a motion to close public?
Move to close the hearing.
Motion, vote second. Public hearing's closed. Scott, we got a staff report.
Yes, sir. In your packet, staff report, the applicants made application on behalf of the property owner for variances to the city's dimensional requirements in order to construct self-storage mini warehouses. Specifically, they're requesting 30-foot and 45-foot variances to the buffer setback from residential zoning and 40-foot building setback to the same. The unusual shape of the subject property creates a hardship which requires relief from the setback requirements. After a review of their application, the following conditions are recommended. Number one, road frontage, building elevations must be submitted to and approved by the city's design review committee before an LDP permit issuance. Number two, a landscape plan for the entire site, including the area along the frontage of the property, must be submitted to and approved by the development review committee before an LDP issuance. Number three, no mini warehouse will be located along the frontage, the road frontage of the subject property. Number four, fencing along the front of the storage facility must be decorative, minimum of 5 foot high, and be approved by the design review committee. And number five, all facility signage must be approved and permitted by the Department of Planning and Zoning prior to building permits issuance. Provided these conditions are met, the staff recommends approval of the variances as requested.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve this variance number 2025003 with the conditions stated by the staff report, and add one more condition on the buffers that touch the rear here, where we've got like the Castleberry homeowners or whatever. Let's add the condition that the buffers have to be approved also
Okay. By the design review?
by the design review, and also that if it's a non-disturbed buffer, and we decide it's not enough after the clearing and grading, as we put in on the church on
Right.
thing.
Yep.
That same condition.
Okay.
And he'll write that up, Howard.
Okay.
It's,
All right.
do I have a second?
All right, second that.
Motion seconded by vote. Carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have any announcements?
No, sir.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move adjourned.
Second, by vote, meeting adjourned. Thank y'all.